Hello, good evening, and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goyle PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, and our media partner on this journey of a lifetime is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. Now, if you want to have a grasp of all that transpired on the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to see all that happened here on the show. Indeed, we are streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we are live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are live at Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are streaming live at Iron Port Ghana. Iron Port Ghana. We shall be getting interactive with you, and so all you have to do is sit back, relax, grab your phones, and send us your messages and comments via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is 0559 019 177. 0559 019 177. And when the time is ripe and I pick signals from the production team, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. My name is Kennedy Mona. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with the show. Please stay with us.
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I come.
Shut up!
Mame, Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Raw 95.
Well up with Super XP Raw 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for a
Choose Super XP Raw 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Raw 95. Goyle, good energy.
Goyle is good energy. Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah, our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse. And my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance Motor Policy. Currently, my goods are on the IC covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm. sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so welcome back. We are now going to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. And indeed, in the course of the week, we had cause to receive some 4 naval warships, if I can call them so, at the port of Tema, and this was at the behest of the European Union in Ghana. We're going to take a look at what happened there on the vessels and, some of the things that were told. One of the issues that came up prominently was the fact that there's good news for everybody. There's a 90% reduction in cases of piracy of the Gulf of Guinea. Plus the fact that, yes, the European Union yesterday also donated some 105 militarized vehicles to the government of Ghana. We have details of these stories. Please enjoy.
The ambassador of the European Union to Ghana, Arshad Razali, has revealed that through the European Union's Coordinated Maritime Presence Program in the Gulf of Guinea and assistance from regional authorities, piracy in the West and Central African region has reduced by 90%. Indeed, in January 2021, political endorsement was given the EU's Coordinated Maritime Presence concept, declaring the Gulf of Guinea as a maritime area of interest to the EU, following an unprecedented rise in the number of multiple crew kidnappings on board vessels. Since then, naval assets from Denmark, Portugal, Italy, Spain, and France have been deployed in the region for the fight against piracy and other maritime insecurities. The ambassador was speaking during a maritime exercise at the port of Tema, where representatives of the various European navies and India demonstrated the arsenals at their disposal for the collective fight against maritime insecurities in the region.
It's about fighting piracy, and the figures are very, very, very good, because the figures of incidents have decreased 90%. This is as well to support countries like Ghana to fight against irregular fishing, because we know how the fish is depleted due to irregular fishing.
The various nations declared their continuous commitment to work with Ghanaian and regional maritime stakeholders to fight piracy, IUU fishing, and other maritime insecurities.
The crew of the Spanish vessel Tornado will do defense cooperation activities with the Ghanaian, with their Ghanaian counterparts, and I hope that we will get to see more and more of these visits and more cooperation between our countries and our Ghanaian friends.
And be assured that India, being part of the overall architecture, if GOG and the friends and the shared GOG as well as the Yondu architecture, we will continue to participate in all the events which are organized here, and the Indian Navy is always ready to provide assets for actual deployment in the area, which is actually far from the shores of India.
The EU ambassador to Ghana also revealed that the European Union will help Ghana with military support, which includes 105 armored vehicles to address inland threats. This gesture was welcomed by Ghana's Chief of Defense Staff, Vice Admiral Seth Amwama.
In respect of the fight against terrorism, we are most pleased to receive equipment as announced by the European Union partner that on Saturday, Ghana is going to receive 105 militarized vehicles to assist us in the fight against terrorism.
Indeed, the European Union has delivered on its promise to provide Ghana with 105 militarized vehicles in support of the nation's fight against the growing threat of terrorism and extremism in West Africa. According to the European Union, other military equipment will be delivered soon, summing up the military aid to 20 million euros. In a colorful ceremony in Accra, the High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security, Josep Borrell Fontelles, established that the delivery of equipment completes ongoing activities to strengthen the security sector in Ghana and part of a broader package worth 616 million euros to strengthen defense and security of 4 coastal countries along the Gulf of Guinea.
The spillover of terrorist activities from the Sahel to the Gulf of Guinea countries is something that is happening now. And this reality has to be faced by our partners like you, but not alone. We have to face it together. And we heard your call, Mr. President, at United Nations General Assembly last month, when you requested more international solidarity in the fight against conflict and violent extremism. And we at the European Union, we are ready to answer this call.
President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, indicated that this gesture demonstrates Ghana's long-standing relationship with the European Union towards shared interests.
I assure His Excellency Joseph Borrell Fonteles and the European Union that Ghana is committed to utilizing these resources, including the militarized vehicles, for the agreed purposes, which includes securing our northern frontiers against terrorist incursions. Ghana stands ready to continue to collaborate with the European Union, to safeguard our mutual security interests, particularly in the West African region.
Welcome back. Those were some happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. Indeed, we shall come your way with some more local news and international news, as well as the phrase or word of the day later on in the program. But for now, we are zooming into a discussion proper tonight. And tonight, we are taking a look at maritime security and the role that the European Union has played all this while. The stories that you just watched has told you some of the efforts that the EU is making in the quest to stem the tide of piracy and other illegal activities of the Gulf of Guinea and, in the West and Central Africa. Plus the fact that just yesterday they also made a massive donation, and we understand that all these sums up to some 20 million euros, investment in Africa. We have tonight been able to plead with His Excellency Ishad Razali, who is the European Union, ambassador, so to speak, European Union ambassador to the Republic of Ghana, in the studios to help us digest some of these issues and to help us appreciate what the EU has been able to do for us so far. And so you can see him on your screen. Good evening, Your Excellency, and welcome to Iron Port.
Good afternoon, Kennedy.
Absolutely. We are glad to have you. Thank you so much for obliging us. We know you have a very tight, itinerary, but you found time and made time to be with us, for which we are profoundly grateful, sir.
Always for you. Always available for you.
Awesome. Now, I understand the Vice President of the European Union Commission was in Ghana. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, yesterday, Mr. Josep Borrell Fontel, who is the High Representative of the European Union, paid a very important official visit to Ghana to demonstrate the closeness and the really tight partnership between the European Union and Ghana, especially when it comes to issues related to defense and security over West Africa.
Right.
This was a show of solidarity, but this was a show as well of concrete gesture in order to support Ghana to weather and to prevent the potential threats coming from the Sahel region when it comes to terror acts or instability.
Right.
And based on the request and the assessment of the Ghanaian authorities themselves, we came up with this donation of 105 militarized vehicles, because these are needed, we have been told, in order to reinforce the ability of the Ghana Armed Forces and related, I would say, agencies in order to reinforce their presence in the northern borders of the country.
Right. And one thing that featured prominently during the, as it were, donation of these 105 vehicles yesterday was terrorism and your quest to eliminate it. And we heard the President of Ghana who said we cannot do it alone. We also heard, Mr. Frontalis and all that. How does it sum up in the quest of the EU to help us deal, decisively with this canker of terrorism, which has reared its head in our jurisdiction?
this challenge and concern of instability at regional level is a shared one.
Right.
This is, of course, felt by the countries of Gulf of Guinea, Ghana, Côte d'Ivoire, Togo, Benin, because they are the most exposed.
Yes.
They have a border with Burkina Faso and other countries where there is instability. And it's been more than 1 year that we are working together. We have, for example, supported the Ghanaian authorities to organize this Accra Initiative Summit almost last year, almost 1 year ago, in order to ensure a better coordination between the countries of Gulf of Guinea to prevent and to address this challenge. This is one area of support. The other area of support, which is more operational, is one that you have mentioned, the donation of 105 militarized vehicles. But this does not come alone. This will come with extra equipment in terms of surveillance, like drones. And there will be as well river ships with a craft.
Okay.
Why is that so? Because inland there are many rivers which might be exploited to go through the porous borders between Ghana and neighboring countries.
Yes.
So this is one element. The other element, we are supporting financially and technically as well the Accra Initiative Secretariat in order to perform their coordinating duties.
Right.
And the other element, which is very important, on which the President of the Republic, Akufo-Addo, and HRVP Borrell, is that it takes more. It takes more than military equipment to have a full strategy of prevention. And they agreed that it was very important equally to ensure better socioeconomic inclusion, job creation, so on and so forth, in order not to alienate the people and drag them in the hands of the radicals, so to speak. So this is a very large undertaking of the European Union because we are currently running very large programs specifically designed for that in the northern regions of the country in particular, because there are some vulnerabilities there as well.
Awesome. Awesome. You mentioned river crafts and ships. Have you made any donation in that respect?
No, they are to come.
They are yet to come. How many are we looking at?
So I'm not in a position to give a specific timeline, but they are already funded for.
Right.
So there is an issue of identifying the specific items which meets the needs of the Ghanaian Air Force.
Right.
So it's not the European Union deciding which type of equipment, but
they should send.
You know, it's based on a needs assessment, and then we need to find them physically and buy them and deliver them. So it's a matter of months.
Okay. So let's go back to the second issue. The other day you were in the port of Tema with 4 naval warships, if I can call them so, and you were taken through, by the commanders of these ships, what they are able to do if they encounter any mishap at sea and all that. Can you tell us what that exercise was meant to achieve?
Yes, they are indeed Navy vessels, so we can call them warships.
Yes.
So we have a very important partnership when it comes to maritime security with India.
Yes.
And I will come back to that. And we have agreed to conduct a huge exercise between...
That's the European Union in collaboration with India.
With India.
Right, sure.
And as a matter of fact, we have conducted an exercise between 3 Navy vessels of European member states, from France, Italy, and Spain, and with a Navy ship from India.
Right.
The purpose of the exercise was to reinforce and to improve what we call interoperability.
Interoperability, absolutely.
Their ability to maneuver together, to communicate better, to exercise together better, because as you know, this is the philosophy of the European Union. You are stronger together.
Absolutely.
When the Italian Navy ship is running out of fuel, for example, another sister vessel can help in refueling.
Yes.
The Italian Navy ship has got, they had an helicopter and they were a cross-deck helicopter exercise. It's not as easy to organize. You need to be very accurate when it comes to communication, positioning, so on and so forth. So this exercise was about making these all procedures more swift, more quick, and more effective, and it was the case.
Now, I would like you to give us a sense of a background, so to speak, of the naval presence of, the European Union of the Gulf of Guinea.
The Gulf of Guinea, since more or less 10 years now, is an hotspot when it comes to insecurity, piracy. And it has been decided to reinforce the naval presence of European Navy in order to deter and to prevent and sometimes to halt this act of piracy.
Right.
So we came up with this arrangement of what we call coordinated maritime presence, which is self-explanatory.
Yes.
We are coordinating between the EU member states to ensure that any given moment there are some Navy vessels from at least one of the member states patrolling in the Gulf of Guinea Sea in order precisely to do that, to prevent, deter, and put an halt to piracy. When it comes to off-coast Ghana, because there are different zones, at any given time, there is Navy ships, whether from Denmark, Portugal, Spain, France, and Italy. And I have to say this is a key undertaking. And so far it's very successful.
Yes.
And we are very happy to have this type of call to port in Tema, for example, in order to share the information, to share it to a broader audience, because what is taking place at sea should not stay at sea. It should be shared to a broader audience, because these are meant to stabilize, these are meant to make the life of people inland safer and more prosperous.
Yes. All right, so we want to, at this juncture, take a look at the military strength of the EU, in West and Central Africa, as far as your quest to help us deal with this canker of piracy and illegalities at sea is concerned. We're talking about the number of crew, the vessels, the resources that you have deployed, so to speak, at sea.
So, as I said, there are a number of European navies and vessels and assets which are mobilized. This is fortunately not a theater of conflict. We are dealing, the main purpose of this exercise, this undertaking, is to ensure prevention and fight against piracy. So, doesn't need, I would say, a huge level of assets, but it has to be consistent and permanent in order for the Piracy Act to decrease and not to regain momentum. So this is something which has been built, and it's very important to specify, based on the strategies of ECOWAS, strategies of the Central African countries, who came together and built an arrangement which is called the Yaoundé architecture. So this is an architecture of African navies and ports in order precisely to coordinate themselves as well to fight against pirates. Because when a pirate is leaving the national seas of Nigeria, so to speak, it goes to the seas of Benin, Togo, Ghana, we have to ensure that there is a coordination between those countries in order to track and to prevent the acts. So, first and foremost, there is an African architecture and strategy, and we, the European, are intervening in order to support it. So, once again, it's something which is done in pure coordination and in pure consistency with African priorities.
Okay, so I see on the screen, those are some of the footages from the visit in the port of Tema, and I happen to have been fortunate to join in one of them. And on one of the vessels, we're told it's just barely 4 years old, and that is fitted with modern technology to aid, in the duties they are supposed to perform whilst at sea. What was your impression with what the commanders of these various vessels told you? Particularly the one that I saw one, I was at the deck, where we saw telephones. I mean, this told us that technology was at work, and that
this one is the Indian one.
Right.
This one is the Indian vessel.
Right. Yeah, so if you can tell us what your impression about, these vessels, is, whilst when you went there and the briefing you received from the commanders.
So what we did together with my colleagues, ambassador of the European member states, we have agreed to organize a joint visit of the 4 Navy vessels. We're docking at Tema port. And I have to say that I was quite impressed with the assets mobilized. And as you've mentioned, some of the vessels had, of course, all of them have the top-notch, I would say, system. Some of them were newer, so with newer technology. But once again, what is important, it works as a system. So one vessel only is not operating alone. It is supported, it is seconded, it is complemented by the assets of the other sister ships. So this is something which is very impressive because it's not so easy. We are speaking about vessels which are not necessarily close by from one another. We are speaking about, it's not just cars. It's huge assets.
Absolutely.
With their own, I would say, technological constraints. And I have to say, we were quite impressed. And to be honest, we were proud as well. We were proud as well to be able to show how efficient and effective those assets are in coordination as well with the Ghanaian Navy. Because these exercises have been done at sea, but we had knowledge sharing session together with the Indians, with the between the European Navy crews and commanding officers, but with the full participation of the Ghanaian Navy as well. This is important to mention because in Accra, not Tema, but in Accra, you have this coordination cell of this Yaoundé architecture. So Ghana is a key element of this, I would say, regional endeavor. So this is the reason why we wanted to have the docking exercise in Ghana in order to illustrate the sound cooperation with the Ghanaian authorities on that.
So I want to find out from you, how long is this particular visit to the port of Tema supposed to last?
They are leaving today.
They are leaving today.
Some of them are leaving today. We are Sunday. Some of them are leaving tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, because their job is at sea. Their job is not to stay docked at Tema. We are very happy to see them. We are very happy to enjoy their hospitality, but their job is at sea. So we are very happy as well to see them patrolling the waters.
And so, do you have an idea where they are headed from here?
No, they have zones. So I have to confess my ignorance. I don't know the itinerary, but few days ago or few weeks ago, they have docked in Lomé, for example. So these are the area where they are patrolling.
Okay. So let me, you mentioned ECOWAS in your earlier submission. I want to find out from you how effective your collaboration with ECOWAS has been. That's the European Union and ECOWAS. I know the ECOWAS ambassador was also there during the ceremony at the port. Can you tell us how effective your collaboration with ECOWAS has been?
No, it's very effective and it's very ancient. ECOWAS has been established in 1975. And since the very beginning, we have regional organization to regional organization cooperation. And we are a key funder of ECOWAS. And we have, in general, I would say, 3 general topics of cooperation. One of them being peace, defense, and security. So in the latest years only, we have allocated 250 million euros, 250 million euros to ECOWAS to reinforce their ability in terms of peace and security.
You mentioned an amount, how much?
250 million euros.
Wow.
This was between 2014 and 2020.
2014, 2020.
because we are working in multi-annual principles.
Okay.
And then we have a very important level of cooperation for regional integration.
Yes.
So it's economic integration, could be infrastructure, could be energy, so on and so forth. And then you have another layer which is more dedicated to economic development, such as food security and improving the capacities of food security. So all in all, for example, 2014 to 2020, I'm speaking about ECOWAS as an organization only. I'm not speaking about the 15 countries of ECOWAS. We have given grant. I'm speaking of grant, more than 1,100 million euros to ECOWAS.
100 million euros. 1.1 billion.
That's correct.
Wow.
And the cooperation is still ongoing. I don't have figures to give you right now, but it's just to give you a magnitude of our commitment to reinforce and support regional integration for West Africa, because, as I said, we believe very much in that as a driver for development and stability.
I know you have mechanisms to monitor spending as far as these monies are concerned. The grants you have given to ECOWAS, this is a huge amount. Since 2014, 1.1 billion euros. That's no mean an amount. How are you able to monitor that these monies that you have given out really go to the places that it's supposed to go?
You know, as I said, the cooperation with ECOWAS is dating back to 1975.
Yes.
And we have long-standing type of mechanism, internal, external, independent, you name it, in order to make what we call monitoring, evaluation, auditing, etc. So this is, I would say, a common practice. This is what we do as well with ongoing programs in Ghana. So there is nothing out of the ordinary there. Yes.
So I am not surprised or amused that you said you are the chief funder of the, ECOWAS. Also, this is a great deal of.
But we are proud of that because we believe in it.
Absolutely.
We believe in it.
Absolutely. Awesome. So you made mention of the fact that there's a 90% reduction.
Yes.
In crime, that's piracy and related offenses of the Gulf of Guinea. That was when you visited Tema. That has elicited a lot of interest, and people are so happy about it. And we tend to agree with you that this is the trend we have seen so far. We brought some experts here who have also attested to the fact that yes, it's drastically reduced. When we come, I would want you to tell us more about that. For now, we're going for a quick break, and tonight we are having in the studios His Excellency Ishad Razali, who is the European Union ambassador to the Republic of Ghana. And tonight we are talking maritime security emanating from a visit they paid to the port of Tema. That was last week, where we had 4 naval ships. We had some high commissioners and he himself, together with the Chief of Defense Staff, Rear Admiral Seth Amwama. They all were there, and he told us about it. Just yesterday, they happened to also have donated some 105 militarized vehicles to the government of Ghana, which was received by His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We're going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the discussion. Please don't go away.
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, boss, fill my tank with Super XP Euro 95.
Well up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for mommy.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Goyle, good energy.
Goyle is good energy. Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah, our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, who wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities? When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse. And my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Right, welcome back. We are zooming back into a discussion tonight once again. Remember, tonight we are privileged to have in the studio His Excellency Mr. Ishad, His Excellency, yes, Mr. Ishad Razali, who is the European Union ambassador to Ghana, and we're talking maritime security. And I told him when we're going for the break that he made mention of the fact that piracy and other related crimes of the Gulf of Guinea has drastically reduced by some 90%. I just want him to tell us something about this. But I've been told by the production team that we can activate the phone lines. His Excellency has obliged us. You take a few questions because it's not going to stay longer. And then we will be wrapping up with him. But for now, he's still with us. So no fears. He has asked Kudus to allow us to have an interesting discussion. So we are having it here. So the number to dial is 020-552-8353, 020-552-8353. And please be certain that the question you're asking is right on maritime security. That's the topic we're discussing tonight. Now, Your Excellency, tell us about the 90% reduction in piracy and related crimes of the Gulf of Guinea. And then when we come, there's a question here for you out there in our inbox. I would ask you that.
Piracy is a global challenge. And a few years ago, you might have heard that the hotspot was in the Horn of Africa.
Yes.
Off-guard Somalia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, Somalia.
That's the Horn of Africa, yeah, sure.
And the European Union, with other partners, of course, is running a huge operation called Operation Atalanta. It's a naval operation precisely aimed at tackling piracy in Somalia.
Right.
And it produced very good results. And then it's not the same pirates,
Right.
but attention shifted to Gulf of Guinea,
Right.
and since 2012, last 10 years, there was a huge increase of piracy acts in the Gulf of Guinea.
Right.
So there again, with international cooperation, with EU intervention, with the mobilization, of course, of the navies of the neighboring countries, such as Ghana, because, I don't want to underestimate the Ghanaian contribution to that. The piracy incidents has decreased sharply in the last 10 years.
Right.
So we are depending on the statistic or the type of incidents. At least the worst incident have been decreased by 90%, which is good news. But this is important as well to bear in mind that it's not going away, and we need to keep mobilized and vigilant, because at any given time, this can worsen again, because there are temptation to take crews or stages to attack navies or just to organize burglaries.
Right.
So I would say the range of attacks is quite wide, but by and large, the most, I would say, dangerous ones have decreased by 90%, which is good news.
Right. Awesome. All right. So I just want to find out from you, that means that in recent times, yes, we've not, like I said, we brought some experts here, industry players, and they all alluded to the fact that, yes, this trend has reduced. I hope that has not, gotten you to rest on your oars, because you think that, yes, you've made a significant impact of the Gulf of Guinea and have, warded off these criminals, so to speak. I know you still have, this deployment there, but how huge is that, the presence as of now?
As I said, this new arrangement of the so-called coordinated maritime presence is very new.
Right.
So it's there. I'm not saying it's there to stay, but it's not going away tomorrow.
Right.
Okay? Because the challenge has to be tackled on the long run.
Awesome.
And we have as well, likewise to the challenge of insecurity coming from the Sahel region, we have to have a comprehensive approach, because in the end, the pirates are venturing into piracy because maybe there are other opportunities that they don't have.
Yes.
So this is something which has to be approached in what we call an integrated approach.
Right.
At land, at sea, with a broader, I would say, type of approach. Yes.
Awesome. All right. So there's a question. Okay. So I understand we have a caller online calling us all the way from the Upper West Regional Capital. He's called Haruna. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Katuma.
Abila
Amfie. Okay. So he's speaking my native Dagari. So. No, please speak English so His Excellency can hear.
Please, I want to bring tractor from outside. So I want you to assist me.
Okay, please. This is not the forum. This one we're asking you to ask questions pertaining to the discussion tonight. But my producers will take your number. We'll link up right after the show. Thank you very much. Thank you, Haruna. We're grateful. You can also call. The number to dial is 020-552-8353. It's right on your screen. You can call and then ask His Excellency, Mr. Ishad Razali, any question that bothers your mind. Particularly, please let it be centered on the topic we're having tonight. Now, this one says, hello, Iron Port. Massive move by getting the ambassador for us. I want to know if training and capacity building is part of the aid you're providing, because I think that has more impact than equipment. This one is from Cleopas in Tema.
This is a very valid and very straight to the point question. As I said, we have a broad range of intervention. So there are activities which have to be tackled hands-on by the Navy, and all the rest is based on capacity building. This is what we do, basically. This is what we do. This is our philosophy, to support our partners to acquire the capacity to address themselves, the challenges they believe they have to address. So this is true at sea, this is true in land, this is true when it comes to economy, this is true when it comes to job creation. This is a philosophy. We equip you, not only with equipment, but
Yes.
at a broad sense, we equip you with the tools and, if relevant, knowledge sufficient or technology to address things. Let me go outside the topic just to give an illustration.
Sure, Your Excellency, yes.
We all faced the COVID pandemics. And the European Union, as you know, has been the first to share the vaccines with the African nations. And Ghana was the first country worldwide to benefit from the vaccines that we are funding.
Right.
This is not enough.
Yeah.
We had to provide the vaccines on the very moment. And as we speak, we are currently funding and equipping Ghana in order to be a key vaccine producer for the rest of Africa.
Wow.
You know? So it's not just about providing a fast solution, it's to provide a long-term solution, and this, to address the question of your viewer, this is our philosophy. It's about training, it's about investment, it's about sharing technology, it's about sharing knowledge, it's about exactly equipment as well when relevant.
Awesome.
So this philosophy is the same that we are applying with maritime security. When it comes as well to prevention of insecurity in land, last week we have been training 100 trainees from immigration services together with defense, and this is not a one shot.
Right.
So this is ongoing, and so the short answer is yes.
Right.
This is what we do.
Awesome. Now this one says, can the ambassador tell us what happens to European crew that are kidnapped in the region? My name is Ama Sewa in Accra.
Yes, some of the incidents have been followed up with intervention, and fortunately, we have this shared, I would say, assets in order to address, I would say, this is what I say, hands-on intervention to address them. These are always difficult situations, and this is one of the top priority that the Navy vessels have to rescue the crews, whether they are European or non-European, this is regardless of their nationality, which have been attacked by the pirates. And these are, as I said, some of the most, I would say, issues of concern.
Yes.
And these are the most, I would say, difficult incidents that have to be addressed. And of course, we are fully on it.
Awesome. Great. This one says, I think the reduction in piracy is good for us traders. I hope insurance premiums will be reduced as a result. This one's from Mavis, who is watching us all the way in Kintampo.
This is a very good point.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it's not in my hands.
Yes.
But the very good point is the benefit of fighting against piracy, trafficking, illegal acts is precisely to alleviate the pressure on trade.
And reduce cost.
And reduce cost and reduce disruption of value chain, disruption of, international trade. Because, 75% of global trade is seaborne.
Absolutely.
It's seaborne. So these routes, Gulf of Guinea, east of Africa, they are key. They are really key. In Asia, out of Philippines, Lombok, etc., they are key. And of course, safety is very important. Safety and security is very important.
Because the more a route is described as a dangerous route, the higher the cost of insurance, for vessels to fly that route. Okay, this one also comes in from Mr. Nate, who is a student at the Regional Maritime University. He's one of the graduate students. He says, please ask the ambassador how they are going to impact the Regional Maritime University in terms of maritime security studies.
We have to think about it. But this is not out of the question. This is something we can consider.
Yes. All right. Awesome. So let's come back in studio and find out from you some of the challenges that the EU forces have faced during their presence in the Gulf of Guinea. I'm sure some of these challenges have come to your attention.
Yes, of course. It's not that there are, the challenges is the piracy and irregular activities, trafficking, etc.
Yes.
But what we wanted to address is a better way of working together between Navy vessels which are not necessarily used to work together in a different setup. They are used to work in a NATO setup, but in a different setup, it's something that had to be improved.
Right.
So this is what concerns the European navies. But as you know, there was another partner to make it, I would say, more interesting, which was India. And, all the protocols, the procedures, so on and so forth, had to be as well checked and improved with this key partner. And I have to say that all the commanders, officers were very happy and very proud of the result because it was a huge, huge success when it comes to, communication, once again, joint deck, flying helicopters from one vessel to another, refueling, etc., etc. So these are the type of not challenge but target or achievement we wanted to get.
Right. Awesome. I know in all of this the ports have a role to play. I just want to find out from you what role they can play in terms of helping deal with the menace of maritime security.
They are key players. They are key players because they are the first port of entry, the first door of entry of any activity, any goods, and they could be involuntary, I would say. The port of entry of irregular or illegal goods or irregular activities. So they have a important role to play. These exercises and these docking exercises have been conducted as well with the cooperation of the port of Tema, which were a key actor, and I would like to acknowledge and thank them for that. Because, as I said, it's self-explanatory. They are vulnerable. And they have a role to play. And this is the reason why the European Union is supporting them. We have a regional program which we call WECAPS, which is aiming once again at reinforcing their own capacities to address the risk that they would identify. So from one port to another, the risks are not necessarily the same. So once again, this is something they have to assess themselves, and based on that and their needs, the program can support them to address these challenges.
Now, the issue of IUU, illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing, has also been something that the EU has been keen at addressing. And I recall vividly you mentioned it during your submission, in the port of Tema the other day. I just want to find out from you what you have done in this regard so far.
The European Union has got a very dense dialogue with the authorities of Ghana, specifically the Ministry of Fishery, in order to assist in addressing and helping to fight against irregular and unreported fishing, which is a real scourge on the economy of Ghana and on the shoulder of the fishermen as well, because they are the ones who are bearing the brunt. No fish means less revenues for fishermen, fisher folks, because it's not only men, it's women as well. So we are working with them in order to make the resource, meaning fish, more reliable and more sustainable, because this is a key issue, sustainability. So we are happy with the work which is conducted by the ministry so far. Organizing a closing season is a key element to rebuild the fish stock. And we are, as I say, conducting a very tight dialogue on that, and I hope we will be able to move out of the current situation.
Okay, so we also understand there's some good news for us when it has to do with the removal of yellow card from Ghana's fisheries sector.
Not yet.
Can you confirm?
No, not yet. Not yet. It's too premature. It's too premature. But we are working to precisely land to that scenario, because a waiver on the yellow card will mean that the resource is more sustainably managed.
Right. Okay, so with all of these that you have mentioned, all the things that you're doing for ECOWAS, for Western Central Africa, and all that. I just want to find out from you, being curious, what the interest of the European Union is.
I think it's quite self-explanatory because our interest is the same as Ghana. Our interest is the same as the country of the region. We want the route to be safer, to enjoy better security. This is about some of our crews. This is about the global, I would say, economy. And we all know, for example, like in Ghana, that what happens in Ukraine, which is invaded by Russia, has got economic implication in the daily life of Ghanaians. Likewise, maybe we cannot see it from inland, but the economic trade route at sea are very key.
Right.
And if they are disrupted, they can have a huge impact, a negative impact on all the economies in Africa, in Europe, elsewhere. So this is a shared interest that we have. This is the reason why we are mobilized, once again, in supporting Ghana, ECOWAS, and ECAS, which is the Central African Region organization to address this challenge.
Right. Okay, so there's this message that has come through. It says, I saw your story earlier on the maritime exercise in Tema port. Can the ambassador speak more on India's role, considering they are outside the European Union? This one is from Maxwell in Takoradi.
This is a very valid question, which has a very simple answer. India is a major trading bloc. It's not a bloc, it's a country. It's a huge economy. And like the European Union, like African nations, they are using this route as well to trade with North America, to trade with South America. And they have a shared interest with the European Union, with the African countries, in order to ensure that these routes are safe and not disrupted by piracy.
All right, so this one's... okay, I know regional peace, security, and democracy, green growth, and smart cities are core focal areas during your tenure in Ghana. How are you looking to accomplish these, and what support do you need from the Ghanaian side to be able to
So this is
achieve this?
This could be a new conversation.
Yes.
But these are the key, I would say, joint priority that we have with the Ghanaian government and stakeholders to push for the next years. Priority number one is very simple. Support the creation of jobs for youth, for women, for Ghanaians. Support the job creation. This could be in the area of agriculture. And we are supporting the national program, which is called Planting for Food and Jobs, for example. This could be in terms of industrialization. This could be in terms of supporting young entrepreneurs, investment, so on and so forth. The other priority is linked to sustainability. Sustainability when it comes to waste management, when it comes to transportation, so on and so forth. And this is something that we are undertaking in cities such as Kumasi, such as Tamale, so on and so forth. And the third priority is related to security. And I think we have already dealt with that last topic.
Okay, so green growth. Just some few minutes, if you can tell us what that's about.
As I said, it's about boosting the ability of creating jobs in order to support growth creation in Ghana.
Okay.
So we are supporting that with programs aimed at, very again, addressing bottlenecks. It's addressing bottlenecks. What are the bottlenecks? Access to funding. Access sometimes to technology. Access to training. Access for agriculture, for fertilizer, practices, so on and so forth.
That's agri inputs.
So this is what we are doing in a large variety of programs. We are equipping the young Ghanaian with what they need in order to enter the business market. We are training, we are supporting the Ghanaian institution to train them. We are supporting the Ghanaian institution as well to give them access to funding.
Right.
We have given 170 million euros to the Development Bank of Ghana precisely to do that, for example, so on and so forth. So this is linked to the question of your first viewer.
Yes.
This goes beyond just giving equipment.
Right. Okay. And then finally, if you tell us about smart cities.
Smart cities, as I said, it's a program aimed at using digital solutions to make the cities functioning better for the citizens when it comes to transportation, when it comes to waste management, so on and so forth. Management of electricity, energy, water, etc. And these are pilots that we will be soon developing in cities such as Kumasi.
Technology. So, how would you rate Ghana's quest to inject a high level of technology in operations? For instance, if you come to the port, we have what we call the paperless system now. We have the icons and all that. How would you rate our performance as a country?
At the port.
Yes, and Ghana in general. There's a
the port is impressive.
Yes.
The port is impressive.
Right.
It's one of, if not the most efficient port in Africa when it comes to the dealing with containers.
Yes.
And there is a huge eagerness to move and to adopt digitalization in this country that we are supporting. We are training youngsters to develop some technological solution, animation, so on and so forth. So we are fully behind the country.
Awesome. I think we would like let you go. We would like to say a very big thank you to you, Your Excellency, Mr. Ishad Razali, who is the European Union ambassador here in the Republic of Ghana. He is obliged us graciously enough, and tonight we've been talking maritime security. He says the other topic, which has to do with his quest, what his mandate here he would want to achieve before he leaves here: regional peace, security, democracy, green growth, and then smart cities. It's another topic altogether. So maybe from here we'll deal with Kudus. We'll see, as and when His Excellency has enough time, we can come and deal with that. But we are so grateful to you, Your Excellency, for obliging us. We're so excited that you agreed to come, and we hope that whatever you seek to achieve, between European Union and Ghana and Africa, West Africa, ECOWAS, like you mentioned, and even to a larger extent, Central Africa, will be realized and to be achieved. And I hope that going forward, a lot more things, higher heights, will be your portion. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Kennedy, for the invitation.
Thank you, Excellency. We're grateful. Thank you. So that's His Excellency, Mr. Ishad Razali, European Union Ambassador to Ghana. We've been discussing maritime security. We're going for a quick break. When we return, we'll take some more local stories, and we'll bring you our phrase or word of the day, which will also even take some international news. Please stay with us.
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, boss, fill my tank with Super XP Euro 95.
Well up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for mommy.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Goyle, good energy.
Goyle is good energy. Electricity. Then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the IC covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects, and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so welcome back. We are now going for some more local stories.
The General Manager, Estate and Environment at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, James Benjamin Gazy, has reiterated the authority's commitment to continuous improvement so far as environmental sustainability is concerned. He revealed that the organization is considering building wind turbines in the near future to reduce the reliance on the national grid, in addition to expanding the areas covered by solar energy. He said the authority is also phasing out its waste segregation program in the Port Enclave. He made these comments at the launch of the GPHA Green Clubs Association in Tema, where school children will play active roles in the green agenda within the city.
We have piloted a waste segregation plan of segregating plastics from other waste and paper from other waste. So the paper waste is given to a recycling company to use for toilet rolls, which we get toilet rolls in return. Then the plastics are given, we consolidate them and give it to a recycling company to recycle. Plans of building wind turbines, so our reliance on the national grid will be reduced. We have solar panels around the offices. At the headquarters building, the lighting uses entirely solar. We plan of extending it to other areas, the warehouses, where we can have space to plant solar panels.
The director of the Port of Tema, Sandro Poku, has assured customers of the Port Authority that GPHA is continuously working at improving logistics and IT systems to serve them better. The director of Ghana's busiest commercial port, however, highlighted the importance of teamwork in meeting the operational objectives for the port. She gave this assurance following an informal meeting with customers at the Revenue Center in Tema during Tema Port's celebration of Customer Service Week.
We want to assure our customers that we are working towards getting more equipment so that we'll be able to serve them well. We also want to improve on our IT systems so that the various gating and gate out processes will be as smooth as possible. We're also getting more trailers so that when we are transferring the containers from terminal to terminal, the customers won't have to come to us to beg us or to give us pressure before we'll be able to serve them.
The Port of Tema joined companies globally to mark World Customer Service Month this October. As part of the lineup of activities to mark the celebration, the authority has been meeting with external stakeholders at various terminals of the port to appreciate and engage them. At the end of the week, the Port Authority rallied some staff and stakeholders who convened at the Tema Port Administration for a health walk and aerobic session. Representatives of the International Maritime Hospital took advantage to sensitize the gathering on breast cancer.
So the key thing in this education was a breast self-examination, how you can personally palpate your breast and look out for breast lumps and any other discolorations of the breast, and the cardinal points or the signals to which you will need to rush to the hospital and have it examined under a machine.
The Port of Takoradi has successfully berthed and record-loaded a 295-meter CS Salubrity, a manganese Capesize vessel at the dry bulk terminal with a draft of 16 meters and a length of 800 meters. The Port of Takoradi dry bulk terminal is the deepest of its kind in West Africa, which is equipped with automated conveyor loading system. The acting director of Port Takoradi, Peter Amobediakon, who witnessed the historic pilotage and berthing of the Capesize vessel, had this to say about the significance of the successful berthing of the vessel at the automated terminal.
There are a lot of vessels of bigger size. This is a Capesize vessel, Capesize vessel. There are, if I can remember, there are about 4 or 5 such vessels that have been lined up to come before Christmas comes. So that is the future for me. In other areas, we are also investing in collaboration with our partners. Hopefully, we are sure that by January 2024, all things being equal, our new container terminal will also be operationalized.
The pilots were led by the Harbour Master Captain Richmond Quayson, who shared his views about the simulation training and the subsequent successful berthing of the CS Salubrity.
We have other vessels lined up, so it means that the forward is ever, we are going forward ever. We are psyched up, we are team up, we have trained enough to berth the vessels safely as per our SOPs.
The operations manager of the Ghana Manganese Company, Sheikh Issa Salifu Taylor, expressed his delight at the ship loading rate.
We are expecting to load the 138,000 tons of the manganese ore within 6 days. That's our target. And so we are on course. And we want to deliver a world-class service to all vessels that will call the port.
The record loading of the vessel was made possible not only by the automated conveyor loading system, but also the meticulous planning and round-the-clock cargo loading by the dry bulk terminal operations team. The Borderless Alliance has held its 10th annual conference on how to strengthen regional agriculture value chains to compete in a global market. In attendance were various players in the trade, agriculture and logistics chain. Speaking at the conference, the Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Shippers Authority, Benonetta Bismarck, said the authority has introduced an electronic platform to receive and address the concerns of transporters on Ghana's corridor.
I strongly urge all shippers and transit truck drivers to take advantage of these centers to streamline their entry processes. Our dedicated staff, who are well versed in border crossing formalities and documentation procedures, are ready to assist. In addition, the Ghana Shippers Authority has over the years introduced innovative programs that are geared towards the provision of relevant information to shippers.
The president of Borderless Alliance, Jonas Lago, said they aim to promote a vision of agriculture without deforestation, intensive and competitive agricultural practices that respect the environment and which is able to reverse the trend of dependence on food import in West Africa. He said the aspiration of Borderless Alliance is to see a strong integrated Africa free from all forms of trade barriers.
Et honneur à Dieu qui nous permet de nous réunir en ce jour.
The coordinator, National After Coordination Office in Ghana, Dr. Farid Arthur said, investing in agriculture is not only economically prudent, but also essential for Africa's security and self-sufficiency. Africa, he noted, must also seize the opportunity presented by expanding regional agricultural markets, which are projected to reach $1 trillion by 2030.
Africa's agriculture is characterized by low input, low output, and low value addition. Opportunities abound for enhancing value addition and regional trade in Africa. Many African countries primarily participate in value chains through the export of raw materials. Indeed, data shows that for us in even West Africa, 70% of what we export are in its raw state.
The regional program leader for Africa of the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, Adi Freeman, gave the introduction of the theme of the conference.
Supporting a vibrant private sector is critical for attracting investments and trade along regional value chains. Private investors have a sound understanding of the agricultural products and services that could be sold competitively in different markets. They are motivated by risk-reward considerations when investing in regional agricultural value chains. Thus, the perceptions and actions of private investors matter.
All right, so you're welcome back. And those were some happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. We are now going to take our word or phrase of the day. And today, our word or phrase of the day is Capesize bulker. Capesize bulker.
A Capesize bulker is a type of large cargo ship specially designed to transport bulk cargo, such as iron ore, coal, grain, and other commodities. Capesize bulkers are typically between 100,000 to 200,000 deadweight tonnage. The term Capesize is used because these ships were traditionally too large to transit through the canals of Panama or Suez, so they had to sail around the Cape of Good Hope or Cape Horn, hence the name.
All right, so welcome back, and that's how we draw the curtain on this week's edition of Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Remember, the show is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority and proudly sponsored by the Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, St. and Phoenix Insurance. My name is Kennedy Mona. Remember, today we have been discussing maritime security with the European Union Ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Ishad Razali. We thank you so much for watching, and we invite you to watch the abridged version of Iron Port on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on Ghana Television. My name is Kennedy Mona once again. Have a super week ahead and keep enjoying the rest of our programs here on Metro TV. Good evening.